So how do things manifest anywhere? Where'd this stuff come from? Is it being trucked in from other planets? It isn't, is it? In other words, how's it manifesting? How are you realizing what you're realizing? Well, it's a vibrational interpretation that is becoming this perception that you have. We know it's when you're born into reality, it's not the easiest thing to understand how it got there. But we want you to understand that things are changing because of your attention to them. So vibrations are turning to thoughts, and thoughts are turning to things. The emphasis that we want to place is upon your realization. So we want to talk about the manifesting process. What is the process of manifesting? Well, really, the very first manifestational evidence that you receive about your mix of thoughts, which is what you are creating, that's your mixing bowl, are the emotions that you feel. An emotion, what could be more manifested than something that you feel so powerfully? And when you think about it, just a little aside, everything that you or anyone wants or has ever wanted, you want because you believe you will feel better in the having of it. Whether it's a pile of money or a material object or an event or a circumstance or a relationship, everything that you want is because you think you will feel better. Well, when you think about it in the way that we're presenting it to you here, one of the first things that manifests is the emotion that helps you to understand your vibrational content. The next thing that manifests is thought. Now, we want to be very vibrationally accurate. You have a thought and then you have an emotional response to it. So really the thought and the emotion are happening simultaneously. But we want you to notice first the emotion and then put the emphasis upon the thought that has caused the emotion. It'll be a really good way for you to perpetuate this momentum, because more momentum, then it easier it is for you to continue this thought. So when you are in that vibrational place where your vortex is in this high, pure vibration, and you are too, for whatever reason, maybe you meditated, maybe you had a massage, maybe you've been appreciating someone, maybe you just woke up and haven't done anything to pull yourself down yet. In other words, maybe you haven't done that thing you do that diminishes your vibrational frequency. So here you are, your vibrational frequency and that of your source and that of your vortex is all the same. And so now you begin to be the realizer of the sameness. So you just feel good. And the thoughts that begin to waft into your mind, the thoughts that you begin to perceive because you're in the vibrational vicinity, and so you can easily translate them, as Esther is doing right now with our vibration. As those thoughts are flowing into your mind, acknowledge that you are the translator of those thoughts. As you begin to deliberately acknowledge that you are tuned into who you are and what thoughts are coming, what you'll begin to notice is, Esther's been doing this a lot lately, and she's been telling anyone who will stand around and listen to her, I'm acting on my impulses a lot. I'm no longer writing it down as something to tend to later. She's doing her best that when an impulse comes, when she thinks of someone, that's the time to call them. When she thinks of something, that's the time to put it in the suitcase. When she thinks of something, she went to a house in another city with a car parked in her garage, and when she got there, she didn't have the keys to the car in the garage in the other city. And she thought, I thought about that over and over and over and over and over again. And instead of acting on it, that's the kind of thing we're talking about. So if you get so that you're tuned in more and more and more, and knowing that you are, and consciously acknowledging that you're translating the vibration of alignment into tangible, perceivable experiences of well-being, then the thought process that begins to flow. So what we're getting at is, this is the way. The cells of your body have been launching rockets of desire into the vortex too. Your cells have created a vibrational version of you. Oh, which you are not helping them live sometimes. But when you're tuned in, when you're feeling good, when you're using every excuse that you can to feel good, when you're feeling good and then you're following the impulse, you're acting on the impulse, It's our promise to you. You're going to give them what they want. You're going to give them what they want when they want it. You're going to find yourself as this vital, efficient, good feeling, tuned in, tapped in, turned on extension of source energy. You are translations of source energy, and the way you feel and how it's turning out is the evidence of how well, what kind of communication you got going on, you say.
Thank you so much.
You never get in your car, set the radio dial on a station that you don't like, and then demand that they play the songs you want to hear. I've been listening to you all day, and all I'm getting Spanish stuff. Spanish, 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 Spanish. I'd like something in English, please, and something popular. You don't demand, you tune. You tune to the frequency that allows you the receiving of what you're looking for. Oh, and you live in the most diverse, magnificent, leading edge environment to create with precision and detail the specifics of everything that you want. This is co-creation at its best, and you knew it when you came. Good?
Very good. Thank you so much.
I've been listening to your work for about 12 years, and I really feel I have a good intellectual understanding of it, and I'm feeling pretty strong about it right now too, right about in this area, in this area here. I kind of have some specific questions, I think, for myself, like kind of relating to what Seth was talking about. I've been working on very high vibrational things for a long time. I teach the Maya calendar, I do Maya fire ceremonies, and I create some very high vibrational music that I think should be out in the rest of the world, helping to raise everybody's vibration. But there's some kind of wall that I keep running into, and I really feel I need to, like we were talking about the radio station, getting other people to tune into my station has been a challenge because I don't know the exact reason, but there's probably a billion reasons.
Something that is a powerful component in this is that we agree with you, the music is high vibration. And one of the reasons that it is that it is different. And that for most people, it doesn't carry expectations that puts them in their usual vibration. So it could really be a breakout vibrational experience. But when you notice that someone needs their vibration to be raised, you assign them a vibrational characteristic that makes it impossible for them to make their way to your high vibrational music. It's so interesting. I have this music that's up here, and since you're down here, you need to come and get it.
All right.
But there's a vibrational disconnect there that you are amplifying. So what you're actually saying is, I hold you in my awareness at a vibration that is different from where I want you to be, but I'd like to help take you to where you want to be. The best way for music to take off is just write more music. Just spend all of your time doing the music thing and let everything else take care of itself, and it will.
Well, what I feel is that and the music and the combination of everything that I do, the Mayan teachings and art, a lot of spiritual work goes into all of that stuff. And I really feel that I have the same kind of connection with spirits that Esther and Hicks and the Abraham that you guys had going on. And I need to be able to attract a big crowd like this to my events to get the word out. And something is, I need to know kind of specifically what is in the way of...
What's in the way is your awareness that the crowd isn't there.
Well, that's...
Because the universe doesn't...
Is it a marketing spin that you're putting on this that gets people here? I mean, what is it specific thing that's not...
The universe does not hear what you say. The universe hears what you mean. And what you mean is they're not coming yet. They're not coming yet. They're not coming. So Abraham and the universe and your guides say, give him some more of that. Give him some more of that. Well, he wants them to come, but that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about them not coming. Always give them more of what they're asking for. But wait, Abraham, he's not asking for them not to come. Yes, he is.
Well, I'm asking for them for the world to appreciate what I'm putting out.
Yeah, but from your awareness that they aren't.
But I'm aware that what I'm putting out ought to be.
It should be. But it isn't.
Now,
Because the universe doesn't hear what you're saying. The universe hears what you mean.
when I'm creating music or
Whole
in a
different
ceremony, I'm in that space, but it's all pure spirit coming out on there. Right.
Yeah. We don't disagree with anything that you're saying. We just think that you are helping us in a very strong way. And everybody gets it because most people are doing some version of it themselves. Your awareness of what is so dominant, it can't move beyond it. Your awareness of what is. And so that's why we're talking about the condition. The condition is so vivid, you have to make a different condition vivid. And you're saying what most people say. In fact, Wayne Dyer, who Esther was just speaking about, wrote a book called I'll See It When I Believe It, or Believe It When You See It. Believe it when you see it.
Well, there had to be a point where
I'll see it when I believe it. I'll see it when I believe it. Believe it when I'll see it. I'll see it when I believe it. Believe it when I see
there
it.
had to be a pivot point from not being known to being well known. And what is that pivot point?
It's gradual. Jerry said, "Are you having fun with this?" Esther said, "Yeah." Jerry said, "I'm going to tell others." And Esther said, "Don't you dare." Jerry said, "Well, just one here and one there." Esther said, "Okay." So then Jerry said, "How'd you like to see the nation?" And Esther said, "Yeah." And he said, "Let's pick 40 cities that we kind of think we'd like to be in, and let's just put it on the schedule." And Esther said, "Okay, what will they be?" And Jerry said, "Well, let's pick cities that we like that have courtyard Marriotts, because we know we like courtyard Marriotts." And so they got a courtyard Marriott book. And Jerry went through the book and circled the cities that he knew that he'd like to see, like to spend some time in, like Seattle and Portland and Spokane, all across the nation, Rye, New York, all across the nation. It's a really good book. It had lots of really good hotels. Had a meeting room that held about 50 people. And Jerry said, "It has to pay for itself." And Esther said, "Well, what'll that be?" And Jerry said, "Well, there's a car rental, and there's the airline, and then there's the cost of the meeting room." So they figured it out, and they figured 20 people would need to be there, and 20 people divided by what the cost would be, that's what they would charge. And so they went to Seattle. There were 3 people. They went to Portland. There were 6 people. They went to Spokane. There were 10 people. And Jerry said, "Are you having fun?" And Esther said, "Yes. Yes." In other words, they weren't doing it for the crowd. They were doing it for the material. They weren't doing it for the crowd. They were doing it for the experience. They weren't doing it for anything that it manifested beyond the feeling that it was producing. Jerry must have asked Esther 1,000 times, "Are you having fun? Do you like this? Is this fun? Is this fun? Is this fun? Is this profitable? No. Is it fun? Yeah."
Well, I was doing anything for the money. It's obviously the wrong choice right now, but I think the money would represent, if I sold 1 million MP3s for $1, I'd be a millionaire. And that many people would be raising their vibration to where I put it out that it should be.
You know what you help us talk about, which is a really important thing to talk about in this conversation about the art of allowing. You see, the reason that you are ornery about this is because you've created a vibrational reality that's really real to you. It's vivid, and you just can't figure out why this thing that is so real isn't translating into some more real terms for you. So you're doing what almost all humans do. You are trying. There's an effort factor that you are applying. And the thing that happens is that 100% of the time when you begin applying effort, now we know you've been taught to be strong efforters in school. You've been taught not to be lazy and that you should try, and that the difference between those who try and those who don't try is a big difference, and you want to be in the pile that tries. In other words, we get all of that. But there is this vibrational truth, this universal core truth that says, when you are trying to overcome something, the thing that you're trying to overcome is what you are accentuating and activating. Right. So the effort factor is just counterproductive. The harder you try, the more it doesn't work.
But isn't it also true that you have to do something to indicate to the universe that you want something?
That's the flawed premise. You sifted and sorted, and you indicated to the universe what you want by filling your vortex full of it.